Good evening. My name is Ashwin Shankar.
My name is Ishan Rathi and you are watching Citycast.
Lokayukta organizes public hearing registering 400 cases against government officials. Reporter Vaishnavi Gopal Raj finds out more.
In the light of recent bribery and land encroachment cases against politicians, Lokayukta organized the public hearing. Earlier, Congress candidate H. Nagesh was caught taking bribe, while the other Congress leader allowed it illegal encroachment of Hindu and Tamil burial ground at JJR Nagar of Chamrajpet constituency.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಆಥರೈಸ್ ಒಂದು ಬಿಬಿಎಂಪಿ ಪಾಲಿಕೆ ಸೌಧಾನ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಚಾಮರಾಜಪೇಟೆ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂನ್ಸಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ಮಿಂಟನ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
This has also led to a mass protest near Lokayukta office today by Hindutva outfits, leading Lokayukta to inspect into such cases. As the election nears, it seems that the Lokayukta will only get firmer on public representatives and government officials. This is Vaishnavi Gopal Raj reporting for Citycast, Bangalore.
Banjara community register protest against internal reservation. Reporter Shreya Pandey will tell you more.
The agitated Banjara community pelted stone at ex-CM B.S. Yedurappa's house in Shivmoga for not getting enough reservation.
The government, which they have just announced the reservation, it is just a vindictive politics and it's a divisive politics. And government, what they have promised of giving an internal reservation to SC and STs and increasing the percentage, it's just a political gimmicks. If the government really had any intentions of giving the reservation, they would have done it in the last 4 years. Last 4 years they are in the government.
The BJP government in Karnataka announced 17% SC quota for 101 castes on March 24. The Banjara community warned that the reservation for their tribe is to be increased. The whole SC community has 15% reservation before. Now it has come down to 4% for the Banjaras.
The internal reservation matter, what has been proposed by government of Karnataka, is most justified. BJP government is bound to socially uplift all the groups within Karnataka as well as within India. So we have already set up a Justice Rohini Commission to look into the internal reservation for the OBCs also.
Even if the Banjara population is more, there are 4 other categories that have got more reservation seats than the Banjara. The National Banjara President demands the Banjara to withdraw.
Another 3-4 days, it goes for the big strike. Every taluks, every districts, and it will burn. Until our justice we won't get, we never stopped here. And definitely we are very requesting for the government also withdraw the internal reservation, and as it is, whatever the previous, it can be moved. Otherwise, the government is responsible for the next further any damages or anything. The government should be taken care.
JDS leader says that by giving less reservation to the Banjara community, they have done injustice with them.
The BJP government did in Karnataka about reservation. This is ridiculous, and the second thing is it's a pakka political drama. Really, I want to tell the BJP people, it's not a strategical, it's not a ethical. There is nothing ethic in this. They are doing just political gimmick.
The community says that they will continue with their protests as the government has done injustice to them. Shreya Pandey, Citycast, Bangalore.
Slum dwellers in Karnataka demand better housing. Our reporter Paridhi tells us more.
As per Karnataka Slum Jan Andolan, there are 70 lakh slum families in Karnataka which are homeless and devoid of proper housing. Government had declared 10 lakh housings for families 4 years before, but only 1,80,000 have been created till date. Also, 3,36,000 families have not been given title.
ವಿಧಾನಸಭಾ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳು ಸ್ಲಮ್ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ತಮ್ಮದೇ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭರವಸೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕನ್ನೋದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಅವರದು ಏನು ಒಂದು ವಿಜಯ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ವಿಜಯ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಯಾತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನವ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಥವಾ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲಮ್ ಜನರದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರದ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
Karnataka Slum Development Board, there are 7.46 lakh families in 2830 slums declared as per Slum Development Act.
1,20,000 ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. 1,20,000 ಜನ ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗದಾಗ slum dwellers ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and other various schemes, around 2 lakh houses constructions have been completed till 2020.
The budget allocation is a little bit less.
Okay.
That's why we can't provide basic community as well as the housing scheme also.
Experts, slum dwellers must be provided with proper housing and all the basic facilities. This is IIJNM Citycast.
Stay with us. Right after this break, we'll bring you more stories. Nimhan says most women were unable to access healthcare during COVID. Reporter Astha Khare finds out more.
According to mental health experts, 80% of women were not able to access mental health care services. Nimhans holds Swasti, a national conference on mental health care services of India, tells why women are more vulnerable to mental health issues.
And of course, then there are accessibility issues in terms of, who accompanies me there. I think with women, the biggest issue is who comes with me to that particular place, even if I do have the information I have.
According to experts, the reason for women being more vulnerable to mental health illness is due to incidents of family abuse, intimate partner violence, and sexual abuse.
When women face domestic violence and this happens it plays out in so many different ways, and we've seen this across the country, right? If you want to take away someone's property, label a woman as mentally ill, it's an easy route out. You want to put somebody in a mental hospital, label her ill because you want to get married to someone else.
According to experts, there is an initiative called Katti in Karnataka, which is a social group of women where they come and discuss their issues.
Those kind of things which sort of having a quasi-professional but yet not a very clinical approach to mental health, particularly for women, is probably the way forward, and we really need to think or using things like the friendship bench model or those kind of models which have evidence.
According to practitioners, promotion of social groups for women can improve their mental health. Astha Khare, reporting for Citycast, Bangalore.
As the city seeks to build one of the world's largest facial recognition database, activists fear privacy intrusion from an inaccurate technology. Our reporter Agnidev Bhattacharya tells us more.
The Internet Freedom Foundation says that the use of facial recognition technology across public spaces in Bangalore, especially in KSR railway station, amounts to mass surveillance and intrusion of privacy, as this technology works without any consent of the citizens. Section 43 of IT Act 2000 states that the body corporate which handles sensitive data like facial recognition will be held liable in the case of misuse. This leaves scope of misuse by the government and its agencies.
The issue with FRT is that it's inaccurate. It can lead to misidentification, which means that people can be arrested incorrectly. And even if it's accurate, it can be used for mass surveillance purposes, which can again lead to a violation of it. The issue with the use of it in railway station is definitely, again, freedom of movement. Basically, you're tracking where a person is going, where a person is coming from. So definitely it could lead to a repression of the right to freedom of movement because people might be scared of getting caught on the camera, or because the camera saw them, there could be backlash.
157 FRT cameras were set up at the railway station in 2021 at a cost of 2.4 crore rupees. While authorities reassured citizens that the mass surveillance tech is only used for screening criminals, lawyers say that in the absence of safeguarding legislations, the collected data can be used for a variety of reasons.
If you don't have a data privacy framework in place, you don't have a cybersecurity framework in place, you don't have laws which can sort of safeguard this data. So what can happen is this data can leak. So once this sensitive data is leaked, it can be used by non-state actors as well to, target people. So that's the problem here. In terms of how government can misuse it, so the worst thing that government can do is use it for surveillance because they don't have any, legal requirements to fulfill. They can just, even they're collecting facial recognition data or biometric data for, let's say, a simple, benign scheme like ration distribution, right? Public distribution system. They can repurpose the same data for mass surveillance. That's the problem.
Contrary to what government officials say about FRT improving security, studies have shown that the technology is prone to error and has more than one occasion led to wrongful arrest of innocent individuals by law enforcement authorities in Delhi and Hyderabad. Experts believe that the use of FRT by the government not only lead to violation of privacy rights but can also lead to human right violations by helping increase systematic bias against already marginalized communities.
So, let's say police collects a lot of data for of criminals, right? Or let's say people it has arrested. So let's say most of the people that they have arrested are from a particular community. So once they use this data to create a tool which can identify anti-social elements in public places, right? So that tool will obviously have a biased way of functioning. It will target people with a specific color tone or specific features, right? So that will create what we call the false positive situation, right? False positive is that it is identifying people, but they're not the people which have to be identified under the tool.
Currently, use of AI in public surveillance is banned across the EU due to tech's unreliable nature. Use of FRT has raised concerns not only in India but with various global civil rights organizations like Amnesty International and the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which says that such technologies can effectively help government curb free speech and expression. Agnidev Bhattacharya reporting for Citycast, Bangalore.
With the National Women Football Championship starting tomorrow, women players face lack of equipment. Reporter Agnidev Bhattacharya finds out more.
Even as Bangalore gears up to play host to 6 state teams, women's football players say that their sport doesn't receive enough funding. The Women's National Championship is starting from tomorrow at the Bangalore Football Stadium, where Karnataka will go head-to-head against teams from Manipur, Assam and Bihar. The players, however, say that despite an increase in participation, funding for women's football remains relatively low.
बॉयज़ से तो कम गर्ल्स की है ही हमारे यहाँ 50% ही मतलब हर चीज़ों में 50% हो जाती है बॉयज़ से गर्ल्स का पैसे वैसे की जो कमी हो जाती है इसके कारण हम लोग को बहुत सारी सुविधा है जो नहीं मिल पाती है जैसे अगर हमारा कैंप वगैरह लग रहा है चाहे हम लोग जा रहे हैं खेलने के लिए तो हम लोग को थोड़ा अच्छा सुविधा होना चाहिए ट्रैवलिंग वगैरह थोड़ा सही मिलना चाहिए जहाँ हम लोग अगर कैंप कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा सुविधा अच्छी होना चाहिए जो प्लेयर को एक चीज़ अगर ग्राउंड से वो निकल रहा है तो थोड़ा सा उसको डाइट वाइट की भी व्यवस्था अच्छी होनी चाहिए रहने की भी व्यवस्था अच्छी होनी चाहिए
The Women's National Football Championship is the biggest tournament in the domestic women's football circuit in India. However, the tournament has been plagued by administrative disinterest of the AIFF over the years, say sources from the Karnataka State Football Association. Mismanagement of funds for the tournament was the reason why it could not be organized between 2011 and 2014. A 2013 RTI report shows that the AIFF has no mechanism in place to monitor the activities of the state bodies, which, coupled with a general disinterest in women's sports in India, has made it all the more difficult for women's football to find sustained funding. The convener of the women's football team of Bihar says that the funding is likely to increase over time.
Women's football बहुत ज़्यादा दिन हुआ नहीं है, इसलिए ये अभी धीरे धीरे ग्रोथ इसका बढ़ेगा तो लोग ऑल इंडिया फुटबॉल फेडरेशन पे इस पर काम कर रहा है, मेनली वुमेन्स फुटबॉल पे.
Even now, close to 30 crore rupees have been allotted towards the men's national team, while only half of it has been allotted to the women's team. The AIFF website mentions no funds that have been allotted to a women's league. As women's football gains traction in the country, experts say that a lack of structured funding seems to discourage most players from picking up the sport as a profession.
Since I'm a coach, I know most of the women who are coming out of their houses to play football is out of their passion. So at the end of the day, again they have to go back to their home, but they don't have a proper thing which they can produce something to their families by playing football. But other than that, as of now, there is nothing for women's football where they can actually get money by playing.
With all eyes on the state-level women's tournament, issues of their poor funding as compared to their male counterparts consistently fail to be highlighted by the authorities. Agnidev Bhattacharya, Citycast, Bangalore.
For more such stories, log on to our website Citycast. This is Ashwin.
This is Ishan, signing off.